Connor's Log, Supplemental, 11/16/16. Hey, I'm back again for today. Some news dropped a couple days ago, I think maybe one day ago, about the Inhumans at Marvel. So, if you remember back when they announced the big Marvel Phase 3 slate, one at the El Capitan Theater in California, you remember that there was about 9 or 10 films, and then they added Spider-Man Homecoming, and they added Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then they dropped Inhumans from that slate, which was the last one before the second Infinity War, and then when they added the 2 new movies, they pushed Inhumans after the second Infinity War, and then Infinity War Part 2 was just, that name was dropped. It's now Untitled Avengers Project. So Inhumans is now gone. It's been gone for a while, and we've all kind of been wondering where Inhumans is going. The Inhumans have been a pretty big part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while now, since they really got involved in Season 2, but they were there in Season 1, but we didn't really know what was going on until Season 2. And a lot of what's happening with the Inhumans, so there's been this weird stuff going on at Marvel. There was the big Marvel Phase 3 rollout, and then the next big thing to come out of Marvel was this whole ripping of the rearranging of what's happening when it came to Kevin Feige now reporting directly to Alan Horn and Bob Iger at Disney, the heads of Disney, and not reporting directly to Isaac Perlmutter, the head of Marvel Comics. Now, Isaac Perlmutter is still the head of Marvel Television, Marvel Comics, everything Marvel except for Marvel Studios' movie division. So, with what's happening with Inhumans in the comics and on television, and then apparently was going to happen in the movies, I guess because they don't have the screen rights to X-Men, Ike Perlmutter, being the shrewd businessman that he is, was thinking, okay, sweet, we can use Inhumans and replace the X-Men. And there's been a lot of, especially in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Inhumans are just the X-Men, and I don't like that because Inhumans aren't X-Men. But with all that being said, when the big divorce between Kevin Feige and Ike Perlmutter happened, and then Inhumans just disappeared from the slate, we were wondering, was that just something Ike Perlmutter had? He really wanted an Inhumans movie, so that's why we had an Inhumans movie. And then since Kevin Feige's now completely in charge of Marvel's movie division, he kicked the Inhumans off of the slate. What happens with the Inhumans? So we are now officially getting news that the Inhumans will be a television series at ABC Studios. It will be on ABC, and what's interesting about this is going to be, we only know that it's going to be premiering this upcoming fall in September, so September of 2017, and it's going to be 8 episodes long, which is the same length as the first season of Agent Carter, just so happened, as it turns out. So, the other interesting piece of news from this is the entirety of the Inhumans TV show is going to be shot on IMAX cameras. If you were not following the production of Avengers Infinity War, when they announced that movie, or when they were prepping that movie, they were saying that the entirety of both of those movies were going to be shot with IMAX cameras. And I know Christopher Nolan must be kicking himself that he wasn't the first person to do that, but the Russo brothers said that they were going to film, it's going to be the first film to be shot entirely with IMAX cameras. So now we're getting the Inhumans, which is being entirely shot on IMAX cameras, and it will be shown exclusively in IMAX theaters for 2 weeks before coming to the television screen. So this is interesting and a little weird. So the first thing that's kind of interesting is the very first thing that's going to be shown, is going to be filmed entirely on IMAX cameras in theaters, is not going to be a movie. That's interesting when you think about it. It's going to be 2 episodes being shown together for 2 weeks, and then they'll start showing them on a weekly basis on ABC. But, so it's almost like 2 hours you're going to the movie theater to watch 2 episodes, and so it's almost like it's a feature-length engagement that you're going to go watch. And it's going to be entirely shot on IMAX cameras. That's interesting, and it's not a movie. And I'm not counting like the OmniMax, like Deep Sea Adventure Museum IMAX theaters. I'm talking about like dramatic narrative, wide rollout of IMAX screens. So this is really interesting. And the second thing is, if you're only showing the first 2 episodes in IMAX, why film the entire season in IMAX? This is something I think came out of Hollywood Reporter or Variety, one of the two. Maybe both of them had parts of the story, but it's a really interesting thing that they would do that from a production level. Another interesting thing is that I'm just kind of putting my head around. I doubt this is the case, but it is a possibility. Because they're putting this in screens, is this hinting at a maybe crossing of the universes, not even like really universes, but are we finally going to have some bleed together between television and movies? This is something that people have been speculating on forever and ever, and even at the last GNN we talked about, and I said I didn't think it was going to happen unless a lot of money got transferred to Ike Perlmutter's bank account or Ike Perlmutter died. So this is interesting that they're showing this in theaters, and it has the Marvel logo on it, undoubtedly, and people are going to go and watch this because it's Marvel in theaters. So the general moviegoer is going to be like, oh man, there's going to be a new TV show, or maybe it's like, oh, there's this Marvel Inhuman things being shown in theaters. So just the average moviegoer is going to be like, okay, when's Doctor Strange going to show up? Oh my gosh, is Iron Man going to show up? Is the Incredible Hulk going to show up? Is Thor going to be there? I don't know. Are the Guardians of the Galaxy going to be there? They're Inhumans, right? Are they in outer space, like with Adelon and everything? I don't even know if they're going to do that. I think that the Inhumans TV show is going to follow the royal family, and I really like the Inhumans royal family. How can you not love Lockjaw? You know, a teleporting huge dog with a fork on his head. I mean, I love Black Bolt, Medusa, Maximus the Bad. They're all crazy, zany characters, and I really like the Inhumans, and I really like the dramatic, soapy, melodramatic, Shakespearean sort of angle it takes. It really appeals to me, and I like the Inhumans when they show up in the comics. But I don't like them being pretty much X-Men in recent years. That's stupid. I don't like that. So this is going to be interesting. I think this might be hinting at bleeding the universes together. Well, not even, I keep saying universes, but they're going to bleed the film division and movie division together. Maybe have at least a little bit of crossover. I don't think we're going to have crossover with the Inhumans TV show. At least I don't think. But it is weird that they're putting it in screens and they're filming it all on IMAX. So there's a lot of speculation to be had. I think this is really interesting news. I think it's cool that Marvel TV is going so cinematic, since ratings on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. haven't been the world's best ratings. I think actually the ratings in season 4 have picked up a little bit with the Ghost Rider stuff, but they certainly weren't what they were when the series premiered. So that's all that we really have right now. I'm really interested to see how the Inhumans factor in to TV and on the big screen. It's interesting. It's certainly a strange place that we're in with the Inhumans. So yeah, that's about all I got. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.